You raise Roller. You wrote the blueprint for his moves, man. Why would anyone take out the boss? It's the same you did to Breeze. We believe there's an opportunity for a successful joint venture. Jaw-dropping weather from Mike Curtis, who plays the younger version of Kanan Stark. He recently did an interview with the people prior to the final episode of Season 4, which will no doubt be explosive, full of surprises, twists, and turns, which we don't expect. A couple of deaths, maybe more, and definitely some feisty conversations. If we take a look at the past history in terms of what we got with these feisty conversations, we've had a lot of back and forth from Rock and Lou. They gave us these epic moments from Seasons 1 and Season 2's finale. Season 3 was a complete role reversal. But there is always a very feisty conversation when it comes to Patina Miller as Rock. That's what I do think we're going to see again in Episode 10 for Season 4. But that's the topic of discussion in today's breakdown. We're going to run through some of these quotes from Akai Curtis and also Erica Woods, who plays Pop. How In My Snaps and Papa have become so integral to the world of raising Kanan, and how they might take an even bigger step and influence over Kanan. We're then going to talk about how Kanan is starting to get closer and closer to the character we saw on Power. Again, running through some more quotes from Akai Curtis. So, a lot to unpack from these quotes, and generally just a build-up of the grand finale of what's been a very enjoyable season for Raising Kanan Season 4. Now, let's run through a couple of these quotes from Mike Curtis, where he teases that his jaw was on the floor. He teased that he was terrified about one particular scene that's quite big. So, the artist mind inside him said he was trying to figure it out. How are we going to do this? Where do I need to be? What places and marks do I need to hit? It's wild, and I'm excited, and I've got a great strong partner in Patina Miller to deal with. So, we're going to have some fun. Now, that's the first couple of quotes, and there are a few more. I'm going to run through them as we run through this breakdown. But, in terms of this one, he says Episode 10 is jaw-dropping, and there's a particular scene that he really had to get in the zone for. And I think one of the big scenes that we eventually have to see is Kanan confronting Rock. At this moment in time, we know he's been told by Snaps and Pop that Rock was the one behind Famous's death. He, of course, also needs to learn about Crystal, and I'm sure that will happen pretty early on in Episode 10. But when he does, we know who he's going to throw the blame towards, and then eventually we need to see him confronting Rock. I think there's going to be a few hurdles in between. There's going to be this feisty exchange with Lou. That's for sure. But we have to assume he is eventually going to confront Rock. And again, based on history from the last couple of season finales of Raising Kanan, I am fully expecting to see and hear a very intense conversation between two characters. Whether it's between Rock and Kanan, I do think Mike Curtis has tears that it could potentially be. I think it definitely needs to happen. I think Kanan's theory that started from episode 407 through Snaps and Pops' manipulation around the situation, around Fame, and also Crystal. He's going to want to have this talk and also maybe get revenge. It definitely does complicate things because this is also his mother, but also because she wasn't the one who was behind it. The problem is, she's done so much up in the past, nobody believes her anymore. Whenever she tries to warn Kanan, he turns it back on Rock. Whenever something bad happens, he blames Rock. Rock is the one who gets all the blame, which, to be honest, is actually partly her fault. I killed Breeze because he got in way of my future. Now, the other explosive scene that could potentially be is Breeze. Emphasis on potentially. You guys know I don't talk about this character much at all, because I really don't want to get your hopes up and him not show up. You know? Keep speaking about a character over a year, and him not show up. We've seen what's happened before. And that's the reason why I don't speak about this character Breeze much. When he arrives on the screen, he arrives. Until then, we focus on our current players, the current chessboard, characters, plot points, and, when he does, eventually arrive. Great. We can then start talking about him. We can talk about his influence, where he fits, his relationship with Kane, and how did the Thomas react, and all that other stuff. In terms of introducing Breeze, Sasha Penn doesn't name-drop him specifically, but he did recently do an interview on stage where he did say that he is aware of the characters the Power fans do want to see. Again, he didn't specifically name-drop the character Breeze, but I'm pretty sure Sasha Penn is well aware of the character.